Hello, everybody. Let's get right into this Beyond the Gates Ted and Nicole's anniversary reveal part 2. A reveal that was giving me classic 80s and 90s soap opera big party reveal. I enjoyed it and I have a lot of opinions. Some may be popular, some may be unpopular, but we'll see what we got. Yeah, overall, the episode was enjoyable coming off of yesterday's episode with Dana or Leslie. Apparently, she is now going by Leslie, revealing the truth. At the beginning of the episode, first of all, Eva started yelling for help, wanting Leslie thrown out for locking her in a closet. And as we saw as the episode went along, Eva was trying to throw Leslie under the bus a lot. But from Eva's point of view, Leslie has done a lot of lying. She has constantly told Eva that Ted just wanted nothing to do with her as a daughter. He wanted nothing to do with Leslie and Eva because he didn't care about them. But this, I guess, is the first time Eva learning that Leslie told everyone, or told Ted and Bill, that she had an abortion, and thus Ted never really knew that Leslie had a daughter. I was a little unclear on that, if Eva was telling the truth about that, but apparently by the end of the show that was the case. So Eva did a lot against Leslie in this episode, and I think Leslie's going to be very mad at Eva going forward. And much like I said yesterday, as I expected to happen, of course, going into this, Leslie's going to be shunned by the Duprees and the community, but looks like Eva likely will too for now. We'll get more into that. Before we get to more of that reveal, I do want to talk about a couple of other things that happened. Haley and Bill were talking about it, and Bill had one of my favorite lines of the episode, actually, when he was elated to be missing the anniversary party. I thought that was funny. But Bill and Haley did some talking about how Ted is not this perfect person he pretends to be, and Bill admitted to Haley that once upon a time he had to fix the situation for Ted, that Ted was a cheater, and Bill had to get him out of that. Now, at the big reveal, Leslie did reveal that Ted hired Bill to threaten Leslie to leave town, and according to Leslie, Bill went so far as to threaten Leslie and her child that if she didn't get an abortion, they would be in danger. And Bill would have Leslie's child kidnapped and sold on the black market. And so, of course, we don't know if Leslie's telling the truth here about Bill, but we have been made to believe that Bill can go to extremes to get what he wants. But we also know that Leslie is cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and might actually be crazy enough to be lying about that part as well, because she's also proven to be a liar, even though she is telling the truth in this situation that she and Ted had the affair. So of course now Naomi and Chelsea have new reasons to be mad at Bill. And one of my disappointments with this episode, and maybe we'll get more of it in Monday's episode, was that Danny didn't really get into it with Dana or Leslie, whatever we're going with her by name, like I wanted her to. But maybe in the next episode, Danny will. Danny and Anita were talking a big game at the end of this episode, talking shit, but they haven't really stepped to Dana's face. Maybe because they do see her as crazy, and she kind of is. Now, another thing Leslie said in this reveal was that if Martin could remember when he was younger and Ted used to take him to the cafe a lot, she was the waitress that used to give him brownies or something. And so Martin did remember this, and Martin realized that he was his father's cover for this affair. So after the reveal, of course, Martin was very upset with Ted. And this was one of my favorite scenes from the actor that played Martin. I thought his confrontation with Ted was good. I thought Martin was good in that scene. Some of the other scenes in this episode, Martin fell short for me. Also, the actor that played Ted, Maurice, fell short for me too, and I can see why he was recast, and the recast will be coming soon. I thought of all the big players in this reveal, I thought Ted's reactions were definitely the weakest. So I can see why he was recast, because even Martin did better than Ted during a lot of this reveal. Somebody that annoyed me during this reveal was Smitty, acting all tough with Leslie that the show's over now after Nicole ran out and Martin and Ted chased after her. Well, Ted chased after her and Martin chased after Ted. Smitty tried to step to Leslie, and that pissed me off because where is the Smitty with Martin? He just lets Martin push him over at literally every end, but, Smitty has no problem trying to step to a woman. I don't know. I didn't like it. It made me distasteful for Smitty because he's such a weak bitch with Martin. So maybe he will grow a spine sooner rather than later. But until he does, it's just more of me not caring about the Martin and Smitty relationship because of the way they write both of them. So we can see Smitty trying to step up here, but he won't do that in his own relationship. So, fuck him with his problems with Martin. Now, Kat's another big person. I got to keep going to my notes because so much happened in this episode that I want to touch upon certain things for sure. Kat, of course, was right the whole time, and I think that will be a big part going forward with the Kat character, that she was right. And even by the end of the episode, Eva admitted to Kat that she was right. Kat went home with Nicole trying to comfort her, but that didn't work. Kat was trying to believe it couldn't be true because, Leslie's crazy and she just sees Eva as a schemer. But as we see by the preview, that it looks like Eva will have the DNA results for Kat, and we will get to see how their rivalry continues when they realize when Kat realizes anyway, that they are half-sisters. When Eva tried to talk to Ted after the confrontation, Ted said at some point that he should have listened to Kat. And so Eva's going to be in this place where both of her parents are going to be shunning her, because after Ted said this to Eva, Leslie was there listening, told Eva that she made the wrong choice. And Leslie kind of I can see why Leslie's going to be upset with Eva going forward, because Eva kept trying to throw her under the bus these past 2 episodes, trying to stop this from happening. And now Eva's going to get to see that Ted cares more about saving his own ass than anything else. Ted didn't have time for Martin, his son, when he was confronting Ted. Ted had no time for Eva, who now he might know to be his daughter. He just wanted to go home to Nicole and try to explain himself and try to save his own ass. And we'll see with the recast if they take Ted in a continued darker direction as just a selfish asshole or not. But that's what I got from Ted and during this whole reveal. Trisha Mann Grant, who I believe plays Leslie, did a great job in this episode. At points she was a bit over the top, but it's a soap opera, and I thought she did great at actually making us feel more sorry for Leslie, because we've seen Leslie as the schemer, as a villain, as crazy, but the way she told the story, and especially if what she was saying about Bill's part in it was true, then we should feel a little sorry for Leslie. She had all these threats to get an abortion. So they did a good job of adding that layer to the character if she's telling the truth. I'm still looking forward to those Leslie and Bill scenes, hopefully. So I guess to kind of sum this up is my annoyance with the Duprees in general. Because at some point in this episode, you have Anita calling Eva that awful child that was just spying on Nicole the whole time, and Danny calling her a lying little bitch. And it's what I expected to happen from this family because they're so uppity and bitchy all the time. And even during the whole event when Anita and Vernon got up trying to play, I guess, politics, getting everyone to leave, they were going to save the family. And it was great to see Leslie knock that all down. I've been waiting for someone to do that for 2 months watching this show now. So I'm definitely still Team Leslie and Eva after all of this, despite those two not going to be on the same page going forward either. But I also don't feel sorry for Nicole. And the biggest reason is because of her little old friend Vanessa, who did have another part in this episode too. She was sick. She couldn't go to this event, but she found out what was happening at the hospital with Doug. And Vanessa's all mad that how could Ted cheat on Nicole? Nicole's been such the perfect wife. And I love Doug calling Vanessa out on her shit that, sometimes people stray, which is what Vanessa does all the time. And I talked about this last week and maybe the week before as well, how Nicole's just this good old pal to Vanessa who is constantly cheating on Doug, who is also supposed to be Nicole's friend and co-worker. And I get it that Nicole and Vanessa are now supposedly best friends. But nonetheless, she enables that behavior with Vanessa. And thus, I can't feel sorry for Nicole that now she was the person cheated on. She can't play victim to this whole situation with Ted when she enables her little friend all the time. So I loved that the episode ended with Leslie arriving at the Dupree house after they were talking all this shit about her and Eva. Because, Leslie's bold to show up there again, and I do hope that Leslie can continue to knock the family down many pegs. So that's the biggest thing I'm looking forward to next week, to see the Dupree family struggle a little bit with this entire situation, because I did want to see how Nicole would react to this with her whole life falling apart. But also the bigger thing for me is I want to see the Dupree family continue to be knocked down some pegs with all the uppity bullshit that they do. And even though Kat is maybe the biggest uppity one of them all, I like her more than most. I like Chelsea too. And it's not that I dislike Danny and Nicole, but their parents are so enabling of their behavior. I guess I can understand where Nicole gets it from when she enables Vanessa's behavior. Let me go back to my notes to see if I got anything else I want to talk about. I didn't really talk about Danny and Andre's little scene, and Andre being the only person to comfort Eva when Eva was alone. Andre realizing that Eva's his cousin, which kind of does suck because honestly they probably had better chemistry than even Danny and Andre, but it is what it is. It's good to see that at least someone in the family was good with Eva after all of this. And it caused a little tension between Danny and Andre because Andre was trying to stick up for Ted because, yeah, this happened, but he's been such a loving, faithful husband ever since. Danny wasn't totally having it. And while Andre admitted to Eva that he knew about the affair because Ted told him and he told Ted to not tell Nicole, Danny doesn't know that yet. And like I said yesterday, I think that could cause some more issues for that possible budding relationship too. But I'm happy with everything. I don't know which direction the story will go in, which is the sign of a good story to me. There's many different possibilities. There's many things I want to see from the fallout of this. Which means that the show could have a difficult time covering everything that I personally want to see because I think there are so many possibilities. But I want to see what Bill's part in all of this is. That excites me. Soon we'll have the new Ted, and we'll see what direction they take Ted. And I want to see who Eva showed up at yesterday because I assumed it was going to be Ted because obviously Leslie's going to kick her ass out. But I saw speculation on Twitter that it was actually that doctor that found her in the closet. And I am all for even that doctor because it would be better than Tomas who can't act. So great possibilities going forward. Shout out to Amber Michelle, I believe her name is. I always forget these actresses and actresses' names. Let me just look it up real quick. Yes. Amber Michelle was great in this episode. All of the subtle emotion, all of the big emotion made me feel very sorry for Eva. I mean, she's my favorite character anyway, but mostly because of Amber's acting. So while Trisha Mann Grant was great as Leslie, the MVP of this reveal was Eva. She's the star of the show. I mean, that's just what it is.